solid ground. Got my head up in the sky and I ain't never looking down. I've been fighting all these demons, we been doing this too long. Now I finally have a reason and it's time to run these walls. Got my back against the wall, got my feet on solid ground. Got my head up in the sky and I ain't never looking down. I've been fighting all these demons, we been doing this too long. Now I finally have a reason and it's time to right these wrongs. Got my back against the wall, got my feet on solid ground. Got my head up in the sky and I ain't never looking down. I've been fighting all these demons, we been doing this too long. Now I finally have a reason and it's time to right these wrongs. Got me drinking out this bottle cause some things will never change. My heart and soul is hollow from the hurt and all the pain. I'm washing down my sorrows like a window in some rain. Not living for tomorrows, I'm just living for the day. I was heading down a dead end, so I had to hit the brakes. Doing everything I had to do to try to make a way. Yeah, I made a few mistakes, and sometimes I feel ashamed. Hoping God will hear me out, cause I'm not trying to lose my faith. I done lost a lot of friends, I can never get them back. Got me sitting here, thinking of all of the times we had. I just wish I would've called, I ain't know it was that bad. Wishing I could turn back time and try to change the past. Give my kids a better life, buying things I never had. Stop going out at night and try to be a better dad, and be there for my people who ain't never had a chance to turn their life around and end up on a better path. Got my back against the wall, got my feet on solid ground. Got my head up in the sky and I ain't never looking down. I've been fighting all these demons, we been doing this too long. Now I finally have a reason and it's time to right these wrongs. Got my back against the wall, got my feet on solid ground. Got my head up in the sky and I ain't never looking down. I've been fighting all these demons, we been doing this too long. Now I finally have a reason and it's time to right these wrongs. I was young when I got signed, I ain't know what I was doing. Gave my all to Jay and Paul on every track that they was brewing. Then the money started flowing and the party started growing. You know what comes after that, the liquor, drugs, and all the hoes. And I was wildin' out the frame, I swear you couldn't tell me nothing. I had everything that you could want, but I was missing something. I had management on savage and scraping bread off the top. Baby mama drama, constantly thought it would never stop. Gave a few homies some racks, I ain't never see them again. Small price to pay to eliminate a snake that wasn't a friend. My circle is smaller than my ring finger wedding band. Now I finally got the venomous enemies out the grass. I got eyes on you suckers and I keep you from afar. And I ain't gotta say no names, you already know who you are. Will I change? I doubt it. You made your bed, you gotta lay in it. But see, I'm a changed man nowadays, I won't engage. I got my back against the wall, got my feet on solid ground. Got my head up in the sky and I ain't never looking down. I've been fighting all these demons, we been doing this too long. Now I finally have a reason and it's time to right these wrongs. Got my back against the wall, got my feet on solid ground. Got my head up in the sky and I ain't never looking down. I've been fighting all these demons, we been doing this too long. Now I finally have a reason and it's time to right these wrongs. Right these wrongs, 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 right these wrongs. I've been fighting all these demons, we been doing this too long. Now I finally have a reason and it's time to right these wrongs.
Yo, what is up, YouTube? I know I've been streaming a lot lately, dude. I know I streamed earlier today. And now we're back at it. But all right, so we got some stuff to go over. Well, my body, anyways, CBD weed. I feel it. Hell yeah. Smoke it up, bro. I'm sorry, I'm kind of nasally today. I think I'm coming down with a cold or something. I don't fucking know. But so excuse me. But today I figured we'd talk about this because I don't see really many people talking about this shit. Everybody's too worried about drama and shit and not real world shit. And I feel like this is very important and something to really pay attention to. Now, these drones have been flying all over the U.S., not just New Jersey. There's been some in New York. I do believe some in Minnesota, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia. And then there's I guess the Pentagon claimed this stuff. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to check into, right? So first off, we're going to go like this. We're going to listen.
Tonight, an aerial mystery that's been described as unnerving is growing. The FBI now investigating multiple reports of unidentified drones flying over New Jersey, some as large as a small car.
Imagine Gobble calling Ryan a rat, even though he's still riding his dick. Like, they just both crazy, 100%.
And today, a large drone seen here, also described as the size of a small vehicle, flying over a California event where Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was in attendance.
More drones in the sky, Rockaway, New Jersey.
The New Jersey drones, initially spotted in the northern part of the state, now being reported further south. Sightings also now being reported in New York City. Staten Island Borough President Vito Fossella calling on the FAA and FBI to expand their investigation.
People have seen a number of 15-foot or so wingspan drones hovering around. In this day and age, I just don't think that that's something you take lightly. If it is nothing to be concerned about, someone should come forward and say that.
Residents alarmed by the number of sightings.
One would go over, and then the next one would come, and then the next one, and the next one. So it wasn't like there would be 20 coming at one time.
Jonathan Lace, a pilot himself, shot this shocking video overnight of multiple car-sized drones near the Essex.
You never know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it could be ours. It could be, with the stuff going on. Okay, well, if we discussing this, right? China and Russia have better advancement when it comes to drone technology than we do. That's for sure. And the drones that the militaries be having in full use, you could easily fly them very far away. You don't have to be in the same vicinity of where you're flying them. They're not like obviously the commercial drones that we buy. These have a great distance. You could literally park a naval ship somewhere on the ocean on the coast and drop that drone up, fly it over. But there's so many being sighted. So we have some like he said, that we got some in Maryland. We got some in New York, New Jersey, Minnesota, California, and Virginia. There might be more places than that. That's the ones that come off the straight to my head right at this moment. And these aren't small drones. These are big fucking drones. You see the size of that. That's huge. Our drones are little tiny things that have a camera on it. These things could easily be dropping shit off. Could it be recording, could have all sorts of different technology on these drones. Now, the issue that comes from this, it could be Kevin Jones, 100%. We can't forget that where we live, and, obviously, they do that. Yeah, speculating, obviously. I personally... Okay, I've been paying attention to what Putin has been talking about, the war going on with Russia and Ukraine, the stuff in Syria, the stuff with China. All right, there's a lot of movement going on in all these countries. And, if we remember, we had those balloons fly over our country, the Chinese balloons. We had Russia and Chinese ships outside of our country. Russia ships on the outside of fucking Florida. I do believe we had Chinese ships on the other side, on the west coast of our country at one point. So, we gotta, since we're not getting really any information from our government, at least that I know of. We're going to be looking into it, obviously, some more. I'm going to be pulling up some videos that I haven't seen. And it's all, this whole stream's about this. So, but it is really interesting that we don't know what the fuck it is. So,
County, New Jersey airport. So concerned by what he saw, he contacted the FAA. What's been probably the most alarming thing to you?
As a pilot, I can tell you that, when you're about to land, the last thing you want to see is something hovering in front of you.
What is that?
With many questions and few answers, residents and officials alike on high alert as the
that
mystery
makes
in the
sense.
sky.
I mean, if you're a pilot, imagine being a pilot on an airplane. You're flying, a commercial jet. The next thing you know, you're trying to land a plane and there's this fucking drone in front of you with lights and shit. I mean, that's, it's got to be terrifying a little bit. You don't know what the fuck it is.
It deepens. George Solis, NBC News, New York.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app.
Oh, shut up. So there's drones spotted over, obviously, New Jersey or New York. John Miller explains why police can't shoot down drones amid security concerns in New Jersey. But we're not even look at that. I want to look into, there's this video right here.
Over who's flying large drones spotted near sensitive locations in the Northeast.
Strange story. And in a separate case on the West Coast, a Chinese national is now charged with flying a drone over a military base. ABC's Rhiannon.
Hey, Ryan Upchurch would tell you it's those fucking aliens. It's UFOs, bro. 100%. They're fucking aliens.
Allie has the details.
He's seen it. Remember. Just like that helicopter was watching over him and chasing him down.
This morning, growing concern over hundreds of these mysterious drone sightings in the Northeast.
That is not an airplane.
Videos on social media showing drones described as much larger and faster than those typically used by hobbyists, hovering over parts of New Jersey.
Look how big that fucker is, though. Like, from this angle, obviously this person's on the ground looking up with probably a cell phone. That resembles a fucking plane, dude. That is big. This motherfucker got me. Hey, I'm just saying facts, bro. I'm just saying facts, Apparently, helicopters be chasing Ryan Upchurch, It came out his mouth, not mine. Can't persecute me. He deleted the video, but thousands of people have seen it. Trust me, if not more. That's a VW bus on steroids. I'm fucking saying, bro, that's fucking huge. Like, and if you're thinking, okay, so if we're thinking this is it's a drone that size, that big, I'm sure it could carry vehicles, people, munition, guns, bombs, anything. You know what I mean? These drones could be not even carrying any of that and just be fucking decked out in cameras and all sorts of shit. And it could be getting intelligence, flying over our military bases, flying over our country, testing the waters. And I've been said this, I don't know how many of y'all were here when the balloons were going on. I said, they say it was a weather balloon, whatever. And I said, what if it was just them testing to see what we would do with something in our airspace and seeing how long it would take for us to react, which we took forever. We let it fly across our whole country, gathering intelligence from an alien life form. Yep, it is. Who knows? It might stop. It might stop by over by Cheatham County. Might chase Upchurch. Hey, you know what? Hey, maybe Upchurch called him. I mean, it's very possible, right? He talks about these aliens and everything, and he's on the news, and he's so godly. He turned light bulbs on with his skin. Maybe he's the alien calling him out. Who knows? Just say it.
Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania in recent days. Some spotted over a U.S. military facility, over reservoirs, and over President-elect Trump's golf club and summer home. The FBI is investigating, but so far,
Wait a second.
Trump's golf club and summer home. The U.S. military facility, over reservoirs,
Over U.S. military facilities, over reservoirs.
and over President-elect Trump's golf club.
Okay. First off, we can identify that these things flew over our airspace. We don't know whose they are, but we allow them to, again, not the first time because Balloon did it, but now again, fly over our military bases. The balloon already flew over our missile silos. I mean, those are already spotted if that was intelligence. And no one you could try to give me the fact, oh, they shot it down in the ocean, they didn't retrieve the information. Bullshit. We have clouds. They probably have the information right then and there as soon as it gets recorded. It's on that computer. It's not on that drone or on that balloon. They just use the balloon to get the information. So try that again. Not saying that's what's happening, obviously. Speculation. But it's a little bit of a coincidence that Trump isn't in office yet. Yes, he got voted in, but he's not in office yet. So we are still under Biden-Harris bullshit right now. Everyone knows that Trump is about to be president. Okay. We never had shit fly over our airspace like that until Biden was in office. Now it's turning to Trump and it's flying over Trump's residence. It's flying over our military. Now, here's my other point. 2, Democratic Party. Okay. What if it's a distraction? What if it's just flying over Trump stuff, flying over to try to cause a scene, to cause a little bit of ruse, to dodge whatever they're about to do? There's so many options that this could be fucking a range of things. And this is fucking worrisome. I mean, this is detrimental to our country and our citizens. Period. This is putting everyone in danger. Not only our citizens, but our military. All of our operations, all of our security. If that is Russian, Chinese, Korean, that's our enemy. They don't like us. So if they're using that to get information, we are about to get fucked. Because let me tell you, we already have Russia and China working together. They've been doing meetings back and forth for the last 8 years. They really vamped it up. Well, I mean, slowly in the 8 years, I would say the beginning of first 4 years, they were slowly doing it. But as soon as Biden got in office, that shit vamped up really fucking quick. Hence the reason why when Biden got in office, I mean, they started the fucking war. Right? None of this shit was going on when Trump was in office. So, it really gets you to think, like, now, is this another country's stuff? Is this Russia? Is this China? Is this Korea? Is it whatever the fuck? Or is this our own government just bullshitting, distracting, or recording? I mean, we're already being recorded automatically. They'd be doing it through our cameras and all that shit. So you can't put it past them to do more of that. They record us every fucking day. You go out, you're on camera more times a day as a normal person than you do as a model. Going to the grocery store, going to the bank, going to pretty much any job you work at, going to the hospital, going to a fast food restaurant or most restaurants. Everywhere you go, there's fucking cameras. There's cameras on fucking city blocks. You're always being recorded. Now, who's to say? I mean, speculation here. Right. The COVID deal where everyone got locked down. Okay, that ended. Now put some drones in the air. Get some people noticing. Then use them for control. Use them for, paying attention. And it's real weird. All these events been going on, right? You got Trump got shot, but we know nothing about the shooter. We got health insurance CEO of United Healthcare gets murdered or assassinated. We know everything about that one. We know everything about that guy. Why? Because it affected the Democratic Party. So we know everything about that. Anyone logical knows that insurance is just a big scam. It's to get as much money as possible without giving any out. Their job is to reject as many claims as they can possible to keep the money going in their pocket. I mean, this is a Democratic kind of initiative. So when it comes to those things, it's interesting that we know everything about him. But the shooter of Trump, we know nothing. Then we had the balloon. We had the shit with Afghanistan. We had the shit with Syria. We have Russia and Ukraine. We have Israel and Hamas. We have, Korea doing their stuff. We have China doing their stuff. There's a lot going on. And a lot of people aren't talking about this shit. For the last 8 years, it's been pretty fucking active. 8 years. Less than 8 years. I would say, yeah. I mean, while Trump was in office, it was pretty active because of all the shit they were pulling with Trump. So, I mean, you had the Capitol stormed. You had all this shit. It's getting really fucking active lately. More active than usual. I mean, yeah, before we had September 11th attacks, but before September 11th attacks, we really kind of was chill. Honestly, there wasn't really big, crazy political things going on as much. But now it's like super maxed out. It feels like everything's kind of being pushed one way or the other, if it's the left or the right. Now, this part is, I mean, if it's our own government, that's even scary. I mean, either way, it's kind of scary because at the end of the day, we're getting the short end of the stick, right? As the people, because now we're really getting our democracy taken away from us. We're getting our freedom taken away from us by that. Because we're being not only lied to, but we're essentially being controlled. I mean, you're already being watched every second. The only time you're not being watched is when you're at home. Maybe. If you're lucky. And the only way that's possible is if you have literally not a cell phone, no Alexa, no Google, none. You know what I mean? You got to be off the grid to really not be on camera at home, because they can access any camera. So it's really kind of intimidating, the amount. Hold on one second. Responding to a message. All right. Sorry about that. But there's a lot of crazy shit, right? I was going to say, did the government unalive you? I mean, yeah, didn't you know? This ain't me. This is a whole nother person pretending to be me, you know? Just totally like, dude, that'd have been kind of funny. Played it off like I was like totally like scripted it out, like some shit fucking happened to me, and then I had like someone else talk on my stream and act like it was me and shit, but it really it's like a totally different voice. Dude, that would have tripped out the whole bro, that should have been hilarious. You went quiet mid sentence. Yeah, I know. I was reading a message. Somebody commented on a YouTube thing and I had to respond. I've been going at it all day on Facebook and YouTube. It's been insane. But anyway, shit. But if it is our country, it's still scary because we're being controlled, being watched. That's naturally happening. But if they're doing drones, that's even more intense. It's more intense watching. But if it's another country, then it's another sign of World War III coming, which I've been said. World War III is coming. World War III is inevitable. It's going to happen. When World War III fucking happens, we are fucked. Period. We are too far advanced in technology for us not to pretty much destroy the whole world. I mean, especially if World War III, everyone's involved. Yeah, this whole world's coming down. Okay. And more than likely, if nukes are flying out and shit, the radiation and everything that happens with a nuke, no one's living. Everyone's dead. We pretty much just cease to exist at that point. So this is where that becomes scary, right? Now, let me get back to this video real quick because I'm kind of curious of where they're going with it. I have not seen this video. I know about the drones and stuff like that. I've been paying attention to that, but this video, this information, I didn't know. I didn't know that they actually flew over our military facilities, our reservoirs, or over Trump's property. So that was all news to me.
And over President-elect Trump's golf club and summer home. The FBI is investigating, but so far, no answers.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy.
A New Jersey congressman claims Iran is responsible.
Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. It's off the east coast of the United States of America.
But he's refusing to reveal sources to back up his claim.
They do work with the Air Force. They do work with national defense. They do work with drones.
The Pentagon denying any so-called mothership. On the West Coast, a Chinese citizen has been arrested, accused of using a drone to snap aerial photos over Vandenberg
Ooh, that
Space
was a good
Force
dab.
Base. Just hours after the launch of a U.S. spy satellite last month, authorities say he hacked the drone to enter no-fly zones. Some are comparing these drone incidents to that Chinese spy balloon the size of
See?
2 school buses, which was shot down off the South Carolina coast last year.
The size of 2 school buses, a fucking balloon over our country. It's fucking wild. And you know what? What did we do about it? Nothing. We were like, let's wait until it flies to the other side of our country, and then we'll shoot it down. What? Really? We should have shot that bitch down as soon as it came out of Canada's airspace. As soon as that shit hit Montana, boom, done. Damn, brother, breathe. Bruh, that dab was heavy.
My responsibility is for the American people to have full disclosure. That doesn't mean we tell them military secrets. But when you have something the size of a Chevy Suburban hovering over your backyard, and these reports are real, and they don't deny them. The Pentagon doesn't deny the reports. Nobody does. There's something going on here, obviously.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
All right. So, I mean, okay, so the title kind of threw it off a little bit. That's why I wanted to watch the video. So, I mean, a senator has said this, but he's not showing any resources showing that this is true, that Iran mothership over on the coast is doing these drones. However, it is very possible for a country to take a ship out to our coast, be in. So there's a certain amount of feet, right, off the coast that we say, this is our naval area. You can't enter, or it's an act of war. But beyond that point, you're fine. Hence the reason why, I think it was last year or the year before, we had Russia ships outside of Florida. They were still in public water. They weren't in our water. If they would have crossed that threshold, all over. War. Right there. You're not coming in. They would probably gotten told, hey, turn around. Like, you better get your ass back out, or you're going to fuck around and find out. So, it is just kind of weird. That we don't have any sort of knowledge of anything of this. And then on top of it, they're telling our police and our military, pretty much everyone, don't shoot them down. What? Why? Why are we okay with just saying, hey, you know what? Just fly over our country. Not a problem. It's cool. You can see everything. We have nothing to hide. Just learn everything so you can do better than Pearl Harbor and come infiltrate our country. Because that makes sense, right? Now, this is fucking up our whole security in our country. This was 8 hours ago. This is from the White House.
Now, finally, I just want to add a few comments on the reports of drone activity here on the East Coast, particularly in and around New Jersey. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat. or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these.
So, in other words, they are denying that they're foreign. Okay. If they're not foreign and they're not ours, what are they, aliens? That the next coming up thing? Oh, it's UFOs? Because they're not foreign, then you're regarding it as it's ours. And last time I checked, civilians ain't buying these big ass fucking drones. Okay. So
these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement.
So what they're saying, which is, it makes no sense, because they're literally trying to say it's not our militaries, it's not anywhere foreign, it's some people's shit, and we're just going to watch it. First off, the last time I checked, there isn't people out here buying drones that fucking big, and not only that many to fly, not only all over fucking New Jersey, but Staten Island and New York, fucking Minnesota, which is way big difference. That's Midwest. And then Virginia and Trump's area, the military bases, reservoirs, like, come on now. The media is covering this the exact same way as the beginning of COVID. Let that sink in. 100% they are. But we should already expect that from the media. We know the media lies to us. At least most of us. Some people are still in denial and think that they're here to protect us and the government's going to protect them and this, that, the other. Most of us know better and know that the government isn't going to protect shit. We're numbers to them. That's why we have Social Security numbers. We're nothing. We're irrelevant. In the 1970s, in a dying confession, Werner von Braun, Operation Paperclip, confided in Dr. Carol Rosen about what was to come. An agenda to be rolled out over the next 50 plus years. The final card, a fake alien invasion. I mean, if you think about this, right? Which I actually was gonna, I'm surprised someone brought that up. I was gonna bring that up at some point. Now, if anyone remembers, during COVID, no, was it after COVID or was it during COVID? I think it was during COVID. I'm not sure the timing. I don't remember exactly what the date was when they did this. But they started talking about, oh, aliens are real. We have a whistleblower talking about alien technology that we have. And that there's, UFOs, and we have a UFO, and we've seen aliens. And our people, most of our people, was like, we know. We know. Area 51. We know this shit. We're not stupid. But he goes, This will lead to a stricter surveillance state and more government control than the sickness brought us. 100%. Have a blessed night. You too. 100%. Not even going to argue that. This would definitely is about. Now, if it were in other countries, then it's just, obviously an act of war, World War III type of shit. But like I said, if it's our government, it's to tighten the ship up. It's to get real good locked control of our whole country and its people. And that's a scary thing, because as you've seen with the Democratic Party with the election, they kind of fucked up the rigged election with Joe Biden. It's clear as day they did. Okay, they won't admit it, but it's clear as day. And then Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was never voted in as the Democratic representative to be going as president. She was tossed in. That's it. What? You're supposed to vote that. So that's a little weird. Now you got COVID, you got all these other things that are going on. COVID was a test, guaranteed it. I've always said this, even when COVID was going on. What is the best way to get full control of the whole world? Not just the country, but the whole world. A medical born illness that can kill you. That's going to scare every person in the world to listen to what the TV tells them, or radio tells them, the internet tells them, which was 6 feet, stay indoors, this, that, the third. Now, while we tested that out, let's throw you a little bone here. Aliens are real. There was a whistleblower. Right? They did do that. And this is why I'm glad he brought that up, because I was going to talk about that. All right. So now aliens are real. We're gonna finally, after the years, finally come and confess aliens are real. Okay, cool. Now we have this. Do you see the advancement of everything? It's slowly testing the waters. It's much like a toddler. I'm going to test the waters ever so slightly. And we're going to see where the limit is. Once I'm over the limit, I'll stop back over that line. I'd be like, okay, I will wait a little bit. And I'm going to push again. See if I can get a little further. Step back. Do it again. And that's what's been going on. Now, me personally, I've already admitted this. I'm not a Trumper, and I'm not a lefty or a righty. I'm a free thinker. I don't trust majority of the people in office. They're crooked, 100%. Can't change my mind. Majority of those in the office are also not worried about the people. They're worried about what's in their pocket. You know, when everything was locked down, you know, it's fucked up. All these rich motherfuckers were eating restaurant type food, right? While us regular people were stuck struggling. And then they wanted to give us now with all that being said, if our government takes full control, we'll be moved more into a communist type of government, which sadly has been the goal for years. Even before Bush, I think Clinton was kind of the start push of that, if I remember correctly. So I'm not no like political genius or anything. I know my history, but like I'm not no obviously insanely genius. But it's just weird how this is all lining up. It doesn't make sense, and it should scare everybody. It really should. It should make you really wonder what's really going on.
From coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no
Video's
reported
only 7
or
minutes,
confirmed
so
drone sightings in any restricted airspace. Now, that said, we certainly take seriously the threat that can be posed by unmanned aircraft systems, which is why law enforcement and other agencies continue to support New Jersey and investigate the reports, even though they have uncovered no malicious activity or intent at this particular stage. While there is no known malicious activity occurring, the reported sightings there do, however, highlight a gap in authorities. And so we urge Congress to pass important legislation that will extend and expand existing counter-drone authorities so that we are better prepared to identify and mitigate any potential threats to airports or other critical infrastructure, and so that state and local authorities are provided all the tools that they need to respond to such threats as well.
John, on the drones, does the U.S. government have any of its own imagery or video of these systems?
I'm not aware that we have U.S. government produced imagery ourselves, but as I said in my opening statement, we have certainly done thorough analysis of the existing imagery.
Like from people's cell phones that we're seeing? Basically, with what you're looking at, how can you credibly tell people that there is no public safety threat, there's no national security threat, that there's no reason to believe that a foreign government is involved?
Because the analysis thus far in an investigation that is ongoing has not revealed any national security or malicious intent or criminal activity. But Jackie, I would remind you, we're at the beginning here, not the end. There's a lot more work to be done, and we're working closely with state and local authorities to gain more information. I would argue that we're moving pretty well here with a sense of energy to try to figure out what we can do to learn more about this. We're still in the middle of an ongoing investigation, and I'm up here explaining to you and let you know what we know so far, what we believe so far. If information comes to light that changes that characterization, then my goodness, we'll be the first ones to let you know. But right now, there's just no indication that this is some sort of foreign malign activity or, in fact, even criminal.
Well, what I don't understand is, this has been happening since late November. I don't know that the law enforcement officials or residents in New York and New Jersey, or even the Democratic senators who wrote to Director Ray Mayorkas and the FAA administrator today would think that this has been handled with a sense of urgency. But that being said, has the president or the Secretary of Defense issued any guidance to NORTHCOM or military installations to act on these systems if they're deemed to be a threat in any way? And what's the benchmark for that determination?
So two thoughts. First of all, you're right. Late November. It is now the 12th of December. So I think it shows that we're moving on with this, and we're going to stay on it. So I want to disabuse you of any notion that we're not taking this seriously, because we are. I can also tell you that if the president, as commander in chief, believed, based on the information that he'd been given, that there was a national security threat at play here, or even a public safety threat at play here, he would issue the appropriate directives to not only law enforcement, but perhaps even the military if that was needed. I want to go back to something I said at the top. There has been no evidence of any of this activity in or near restricted spaces.
That's not what the senators said in the letter. They said, in fact, that they've been observed maneuvering their critical infrastructure, sensitive locations, including reservoirs and military installations, and cited a concern from law enforcement about public safety threats because a medevac helicopter was prevented from transporting a seriously injured patient for care because of the presence of these drones.
I stand by my opening statement.
Can you make that make more sense? Because I think people in New York and New Jersey see drones the size of an SUV over their house every night and think that that doesn't make any sense.
Certainly, I understand why people would be looking at this and being concerned about it. We're concerned about it too, which is why we have the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI, my goodness, looking at this, and we're taking it seriously. And we understand that people are concerned. We understand that they got questions. We got questions too, and we're working hard to get the answers to that. What I can tell you as we sit here today, at 2:16 in the afternoon on the 12th, is we haven't seen any indication thus far that there's a public safety risk, and we haven't seen.
The government know what they are.
We are still investigating this. I can't tell you definitively. I cannot characterize for you definitively what these sightings are. I can just go back to what I said at the opening. We've looked at the imagery. We can't corroborate some of the reported sightings through our own expert analysis using sophisticated detection techniques. But that doesn't mean that, we're putting our pen down here this afternoon and calling it a day. We're going to keep at this.
What are you doing now?
We are continuing to investigate it, as I said in my opening statement, 2 federal agencies, as well as the United States Coast Guard and state and local law enforcement officials, which we are staying in close touch with.
Picking up on drones, has it reached a level, or is there a level determined by which the president or the administration, more directly, would prohibit any use of the airspace, since it is regulated, for drones for a period of time to try to figure out who they are and to remove this anxiety that people in the Northeast are feeling?
I don't know that we're at a stage right now where we're considering that sort of a policy option. But I can tell you that we're going to keep an open mind here.
Why not? If we're really going to, let's be honest, if we're really going to investigate it, right, thoroughly, why not call off any drone use in the airspace? That way, we could, maybe have our own military or something monitor the airspace of where these drones are known to be seen and watch. Wouldn't that be the best way? Just saying. Especially if we called it off and they came into the airspace. Well, by that, we as a country can shoot them down. They're not supposed to be in airspace. It's prohibited at that point in time. Shoot them down. We can see what they are. Why are we not willing to do that? That's what I mean by this government is so fucking weird. It's so fucking weird. So I don't trust them.
here. And I think whatever policy options we determine are appropriate will be informed by the investigation. And thus far, in this early stage of the investigation, there's just no national security threat that we see and no public safety risk. So again, you want to be careful that you don't you don't jump to conclusions and you don't jump to policy options that may not be appropriate at this particular stage. But we'll obviously see where it goes, and we'll be informed by investigators.
So,
Welcome back. Mysterious drones continue to fly over New York and New Jersey with few answers coming from the Biden administration. How is it possible that the Pentagon doesn't know? I'm not buying it. Local government officials continue to evade answers as far as the origin of these drones. They're being compared to the Chinese spy balloon that flew across the entire country last year. Meanwhile, a Chinese citizen living in Los Angeles is under arrest this morning for allegedly using a drone to take images of Vandenberg Space Force Base in Santa Barbara County. Joining me now is Gatestone Institute senior fellow and the author of Plan Red, China's Project to Destroy America, Gordon Chang, back with us. Gordon, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. What is your reaction to these drones? Do you think these drones are Chinese drones surveilling America?
These drones and this activity is too large, too well organized to be the work of lobbyists. And that sort of leaves foreign powers. And it could be Iran in connection with China. But clearly somebody is trying to absorb our attention. And Maria, the thing that really worries me is that if they're trying to draw our attention to these drones, the question is, what are they doing elsewhere in our country? So we could very well get hit. And by the way, I don't think that Chinese national should be put through the civilian justice system. This was a military violation. Person should be in a military brig because clearly the civilian system can't process these people properly and quickly enough, and we need to take them off the streets.
Well, I mean, this has been weeks. You know, at this point, it's really not right that the Pentagon has not given us more information as far as these drones are concerned. Of course, everyone's going to just start speculating. We need some real answers from the Pentagon to really understand what's going on. I mean, the fact that China is surveilling America is not a secret. Everyone knows that that the surveillance programs are in place, and they're once again around our military bases. But we're not getting any answers from anybody. Meanwhile, President-elect Trump reportedly inviting Chinese President Xi Jinping to attend his inauguration next month. This is according to CBS. Trump invited Xi back in early November, right after the election. This invitation comes as trade tensions intensify between the U.S. and China over proposed tariffs. The move would place a 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican goods, plus an additional 10% tariff on imports from China. Xi Jinping has warned the U.S. against renewing a trade war, saying that there will be, quote, no winners. Chinese authorities are considering a weaker yuan heading into 2025. Beijing says it's even willing to plunge deeper into debt and use stimulus needed to counter Trump's plans, Gordon. So you've got a lot of conversations, economic conversations underway between China and the United States. And yet it's all in the face of these surveillance programs in our face. Your thoughts on President Trump inviting Xi Jinping to the inauguration? And, you know, you don't know where Trump, nobody knows where Trump is in terms of all of these issues. I mean, he's tough on things like tariffs, and then he invites Xi to the inauguration. I think that's all by design. What do you think?
It probably is. But remember, this is a Xi Jinping who deliberately spread COVID-19 beyond China's borders, killing 1.2 million Americans. This is a Xi Jinping who each year, with malice aforethought, kills 70,000 Americans with fentanyl. This is a Xi Jinping who runs a regime that steals $500 billion of U.S. intellectual property each year. This is a Xi Jinping who flew that spy balloon over our country last year, over our nuclear weapons sites. The question that I'd like to ask is, regardless of what Trump's strategy is, why should we invite such an individual to the inauguration?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. I mean, we haven't.
Well, old school. It's the saying, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Not saying that this is exactly it, but it's a possibility, right? I mean, get him to kind of feel comfortable, make him slip, be able to read his intuition, read body cues, this, that, the other. There's a lot of different things that could go on with that. I mean, maybe some crazy secret that fucking they're working together and to demise our country and fucking control it. Who knows, right? It could be a lot of different things. Speculation can go anywhere. It depends on how deep you want to go down the rabbit hole. But I mean, basic instinct, I would say, is to keep our enemies closer and be able to watch them, especially after, think about it, 4 years of Biden, all this shit happened with these other countries. Wasn't going on when Trump was president. So bringing these people back into, remember who the fuck I am, I'm Trump, not Biden, might be able to slow some shit down. Who knows, right? Because, I mean, the countries weren't moving like this when he was in office. It was pretty quiet for the most part. So what if it's one of those situations?
Haven't gotten a comment from President Trump on why he extended this invitation, but we know that China is ramping up its war on the United States. I mean, certainly semiconductors, he's taking aim at NVIDIA. Beijing launched an antitrust probe into the U.S. chip maker just 1 week after Washington curbed China's access to high-end semiconductors, Gordon. Look, they make chips in Taiwan. Is that why China is doing what it's doing? Your reaction?
Well, first of all, with the attack on NVIDIA, really this shows that there's no rule of law in China. They're just doing this in retaliation for what they don't like that Trump might do to them. So clearly, the Chinese, they complain about decoupling. Well, the point is that countries and companies are leaving China because of what China is doing. There is a sustained assault on American and other foreign companies. And these companies need to get out of there for many reasons. And one of them is that China is determined to destroy their businesses.
Yeah. And I think, people understand the CCP tactics. You wrote an op-ed this week where you say China is targeting Morocco to control the Mediterranean and global trade. Break that down for us, because I don't know that people understand the tactics used globally to corner markets that the CCP does.
Yeah, Morocco is a trade bridge connecting 3 continents. It has the only U.S. free trade agreement with an African nation. It is a member of the EU trade agreement and part of the African Trade Federation. So clearly it is very important for Xi Jinping, who needs to export more to the world. And he can do that by getting inside Morocco and thereby avoiding the tariffs that Trump is talking about imposing on Chinese goods that come directly from China. So Morocco is critically important for us. It is the first country in the world to extend diplomatic recognition to the U.S. Trump had great foreign policy in his first term in trying to work with Morocco. So I think that we can counter what China is doing. But the other thing is that Xi Jinping is in Morocco because he wants to help Iran close off the Mediterranean Sea, and we should not be allowing him to do that. So I hope that Trump puts Morocco at the top of the agenda in his first term.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll see how this relationship plays out. But most people, including Christopher Wray, who's now resigning, will tell you that China is our number one adversary. I think Trump knows that. And that first dinner that he had with Xi Jinping years ago at Mar-a-Lago, he dropped that news that they were sending 13 strikes to Syria. And that was also by design. He did it during dinner and chocolate cake. So maybe that's also part of his thinking in terms of inviting Xi to the inauguration, starting soft and nice, but then dropping the news of sanctions or more tariffs.
Well, you mentioned Syria, and in the Middle East, the perception is that Trump really is trying to make nice to both the Russians and the Chinese because he wants to make a deal instead of confronting them. And it's not playing very well in the region. So I hope that the region's got this wrong, but we've got a problem in the Middle East because of Trump's outreach to China and Russia.
All right, we will be watching that angle for.
Which, I mean, that, see, and that's the thing that we got to think about. See, you do one action, these people over here are going to react. You do the other action, these other people are going to react. So, I mean, it's just one of those situations. And
let's talk about these drones. That black blob in the night sky is a drone, a good sized one, though it's hard to tell without other objects close in the frame to compare it to. It's one of dozens that have been spotted recently in the skies over New Jersey and New York, in the New York area, including a military research facility around the Trump property in Bedminster as well. Today, the White House sought to downplay rumors.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus.
Security officials held a private briefing today for members of Congress, some of whom are demanding more in the way of answers.
I've been a little frustrated. There hasn't been enough transparency, letting people know what's happening. It's allowing a lot of potentially misinformation to spread, or at least fear. We should know what's going on over our skies, and I've asked for a lot more information.
They should be shot down if necessary, because they're flying over sensitive areas, whether it's planes that may be jeopardized or security at military bases. We ought to do a much better job. The Biden administration ought to be acting more aggressively against these drones.
Well, Senator Booker, who you heard there a moment ago, along with his New Jersey and New York Senate colleagues, sent a letter today to the heads of DHS, FBI, and FAA requesting a briefing on the matter. More on this all now from CNN's Omar Jimenez.
So people have been seeing drones. Don't worry, this is one of ours. But we've been going around talking to people in this northern New Jersey area, and really almost everyone you talk to has either seen one or knows someone who's seen one.
What are they? Who's sending them up there? What are they doing there? Why doesn't anybody know what they are? You know, and why New Jersey? It didn't sound like an airplane, which is why I went out and looked at it.
It was loud, but not any louder than the airplanes, because the airplanes are loud.
Yeah, the jets were loud.
And there were jets flying over at the same time. They actually flew in a circle around our building, both of them, and then across, and then disappeared. It still could be somebody playing a trick, but which is unlikely because they are so big.
Yeah, it's not a 10-year-old flying it, you know.
Yeah. I'll just let the people that are trying to figure it out.
But to this point, no one has, at least publicly. The FBI is now investigating weeks of reported drone sightings over New Jersey. That's according to a document given to state and local officials. As a growing number of people report seeing drones, some described as 6 feet in diameter, flying in the skies. And there have been questions about when they first started popping up. Reports seem to vary, but the Picatinny Arsenal, which is a military installation in northern New Jersey, has confirmed sightings in the area going back to November 13th. And countrywide, this isn't the first time mysterious drones or something like it have been spotted around military installations.
So specifically, Langley Air Force Base did experience incursions of unauthorized unmanned aerial systems last year in December 2023. The number of those UAS incursions did fluctuate on any given day, but they didn't appear to exhibit any hostile intent.
And while with the New Jersey reported sightings, the White House says many have actually been manned aircraft, some witnesses disagree.
They'll just change direction, like go from like 90 to like 270 degrees, just like fly different directions, and planes obviously can't do that. Nothing during the day, just completely at night. It's odd.
And public officials are starting to get frustrated.
They're creating so much fear and uneasiness in the public.
There's no excuse for us not to know at this point. Now is not the time to mess around. It is a time for action. We're past the point of let's pretend it's not a big deal and try to keep everybody calm while we figure it out. It's really concerning. And quite frankly, it's not acceptable.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are throwing a little bit of cold water on this. They said in a joint statement that based on what they've seen so far, they don't see any national security threat or anything like that, but also that they are investigating whether these reported drone sightings are actually drones or whether they're being mistakenly identified for manned aircraft. And they did say many of the cases that they've investigated have actually turned out to be manned aircraft. That said, they are continuing to investigate, and without a definitive answer to this point, especially over reported sightings that span back to mid.
First off, you could tell by a lot of that video footage that we've seen, that was definitely not a manned aircraft. Definitely a drone. But okay.
Point of last month, it's left this vacuum where a lot of questions have come up, and a lot of questions from people who are upset that there is not a definitive answer to this point, Anderson.
All right, Omar Jimenez, thanks very much. John Miller is back. Also joining us is CNN Senior National Security Analyst Julia Kayyem. She's a former Assistant Secretary for Homeland Security, currently a professor at Harvard's Kennedy School. So I've been skeptical of this whole thing. How do we know this isn't just some people, flying around drones, and once people get upset about it, they just continue?
I think it's a couple of things. One, it's because of the size. I mean, people have described these things as being the size of a small automobile. So as Omar pointed out in his piece, that's not the drone we bought for our kids or a hobbyist necessarily. It looks expensive. The second thing is that when they've been encountered, and the idea is like, where are they coming from? And they're flying in groups. And if they're coming from offshore, the New Jersey State Police had helicopters literally laying offshore waiting for this because it was night after night after night. And when they chased them, they shut off their lights, the drones shut off their lights and increased speed and disappeared. So it sounds like, it feels like whoever it is definitely not looking to be encountered, detected, seen, or explained.
Juliet, I mean, does it surprise you?
Which even makes things worse, because our government is saying that, oh, we can't say they're foreign. Well, if they were foreign, they would act like that. They don't want to be seen. Or if it's ours and we're trying to cover it up, well, honestly, it's a good way to cover it up. I'm just saying.
We don't have a definitive answer yet on the origin of these things, considering all the money that's invested in national security and protecting U.S. airspace?
Yeah, and particularly airspace. I mean, an entire system of control from NORTHCOM to NORAD to the FAA to regulations regarding drones and the ability to fly certain unmanned vehicles, depending on their size, their capacity, and everything else. This whole regulatory system exists. And the answer we've gotten back is, well, it's likely not drones. And so that's what the government is now saying, is that most of them are manned aircraft. But what John is saying is then that would suggest that all of these eyewitness accounts and all of these videos that are showing multiple drones of large size that are moving in ways that an airplane doesn't move, and that try to avoid detection, we're still not getting a great explanation around that. And look, some of these videos we have to, people are probably putting online now. Some of them may look like a drone, but it's actually an aircraft. But there's too many eyewitness accounts.
John, I mean,
it's just a manned aircraft.
Yeah, have we seen this before? I mean, were there other incidents in other places?
I mean, in Norfolk, Virginia, in late 2023, you had 17 days of this over military locations, naval locations by the shore.
And was that ever figured out?
No, not figured out. And I mean, to Juliet's point, there's 110 mayors, that were at this conference where they did the briefing, and their residents are angry about the government response saying, well, they were fixed wing aircrafts. It's like, fixed wing aircrafts don't stop and hover and then go dark and take off. They're a little insulted about the idea that they're not being believed.
Do we even know how to, I mean, obviously drones have been a huge part of the war in Ukraine. Has anti-drone technology, I mean, do we know how to fight against drones?
So we do. And that's an issue here, which is under the current conundrum of laws between the FAA, Federal Aeronautic Administration, DHS, which is in charge of infrastructure security, the FBI, which has drone interdiction and detection capability and authority, and then all of local law enforcement. Only the FBI is authorized to use that. So when you hear people saying, well, they should shoot them down, first of all, the complication is it's not illegal to fly a drone at night in New Jersey. So what are you shooting them down for? And second of all, the police aren't allowed to do that because the federal government, even at events like New Year's Eve in Times Square and other things where you'd say, if something with a payload came in, you'd want to take it out. They don't have that authority.
Wow. John Miller, thank you, Julia Keim, as well.
So that's interesting.
Welcome back.
Very interesting. Okay. I don't know what to think about that because it's wild. Sorry about this. I'm texting somebody real quick. There we go. Anyway. So this stuff is just wild. Okay. Nobody wants to really say what this really is, what's really going on. And it's all a big fuckery, right? So I'm going to be keeping track on this and giving an update when I know more. Obviously, we'll have another discussion based on the updates. My honest opinion is pay attention around y'all. You see something weird, record it, take pictures, do what you need to do to, have a record of it. Because it's important, man. It really is. Because the shit's wild, bro. Super wild. I don't understand why we don't shoot them down, why we don't do a thorough investigation. They say they are, but they're not. If they were, they would be doing stuff to investigate them. You're not just going to look at the pictures. We're going to shoot them down. Not just going to follow them around or try to follow them around. Fuck that. Shoot them down and get them, retrieve them, and see what the fuck they are. Okay? It's that simple. They're as big as the SUVs. Like, that's big as fuck. Okay? That's why people are fucking nervous and weirded out. They're like, what the fuck? That's not normal. So, I mean, take it as it is, bro. Like, at the end of the day, shit's weird. For real. But we're going to check this out real quick. It's an older jam, but American Pride and shit.
Love my country, love my freedom, fuck for welfare, no, I don't need them. Shotgun race from the woods to the plate, ain't never went hungry, ain't never too late to come around here, son, running that mouth. You can fuck around and find out. Yeah, you can fuck around and find out. Talking that shit, but I don't hear it so well. Need to hear a little more rebel in your yell. Got that old sawed off with some shotgun shells. If you say the wrong words, it'll blow you to hell. You gon' get lost in them trees, never found. If I ever see you around, you can fuck around and find out. I love my country, love my freedom, fuck the welfare, nah, I don't need them. Shotgun raised from the woods to the plate, ain't never went hungry, ain't never too late to come around here, son, running that mouth. You can fuck around and find out. You can fuck around and find out. In my word with a rattlesnake back. Got 100 acres here in my dad's 45. I can roll you down this ridge and leave you where you lie. I don't tell you how to live, but I can show you how to die. Promise you won't never be found. And there's some old new leaves on the ground. You can fuck around and find out. Love my country, love my freedom, fuck the welfare, nah, I don't need them. Shotgun raised from the woods to the plate, ain't ever went hungry, ain't never too late to come around here, son, running that mouth. You can fuck around and find out. You can fuck around and find out.
Yeah, he's a banger. Oh, we got to do it. We got to do it. It's Colt Montgomery. Why not? Fuck it. Brandon is stream soon anyway. We're going to do a dance. Cheers, everybody.
Out of luck and broke as fuck. Mama scraping up some money just to try to feed us lunch. Daddy always on the road. Every day he drove a truck. Hardest working man I know. So we didn't see him much. Cause if you ain't got no hustle, then we can't be friends. Cause being broke, that's just something I can't comprehend. And when they talk about a come up, who they mentioning? Cause I done had it, I done lost and got it back again. And I was sapping crown and beer. And a mason full of clear. Got my pockets packed with green. You can call me John Deere. Got them diamonds in my teeth. Looking like a chandelier. I think I'm David Copperfield. I make your lady disappear. Now it's 80 minute mining mode. What your am I taking home? No, I do not know the time. Why? Cause my watch is froze. Yeah, I'm just a city boy. Repping for my country folk. Shining on my wrist and neck. Looking like a pot of gold. Let's go. Don't come crossing my line. Crossing my line. Unless you ready to fight. Hope you're ready to die. Cause I'm standing on mine. I ain't never been the one to back down. 50 cal with 100 rounds. Tell the devil I'm coming his way. Boots on ground, here to stay. I'm like the Lord of these ones. I'm toting that book of road. Sending messages downrange. Just wanna fly down, sipping champagne. Got my boots in the sand and I march on. Got the bag and I'm packed and I carry on. Trying to win the hearts and minds of the stars and stripes, but you know we live on. From the land of the free to the home of the brave, you know that we will stand. One nation under God, I will fear no man. Don't come crossing my line. Crossing my line. Unless you ready to fight. Hope you're ready to die. Ready to die. Cause I'm standing on mine.
A fucking banger. Shout out to Justin Time. Shout out to Colt Montgomery. ACal. All of them. All of them greats, man. There's so many people that are out there killing it. What I understand, Doobie was in there too, actually, along with a lot of different people, man. A lot of artists that I know about, like Parker Boy, JBB, obviously we had Jam Wayne, Justin Time. You had JJ Lawhorn. Let's see. There's just so fucking many, bro. So many good fucking dope ass artists. Yeah, I was distracted again. ADHD, sorry. But yeah, there's so many fucking artists there, and they're doing an amazing job. And I'm so proud to see everyone being unified and doing something great. And I'm excited to see what they come out with. But it is getting late, so I want to say good night. Don't forget to tell somebody you love them, ask them how they're doing. Make sure they're doing all right. Mental health is very important. Suicide is at an all-time high rates, especially in men. Best way to combat that, making sure people are okay, and showing that they're supported and loved. All y'all, I love y'all. Till the next one, peace.